Let us for a few moments think of the Divine Lord in our heart and pray for the welfare of the whole humanity. Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tatsat Om Stavakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stavakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the spiritual master, who has given practical instructions to get rid of ignorance, to live a life of practicality. The very important teaching which Sri Ramakrishna has given emphatically is that we should cherish intense love towards God. Then only we will be able to have the experience of peace and bliss. So how the love to be cultivated? Though it looks easy, but when we come to practical aspect of it, we feel it is not so easy. Why it is not easy? Because our mind is directed towards the world. Our love also is directed towards the world. That means the mind has become extrovert. Mind is constantly projecting outside. It is very busy engaging itself in the activities of the world. As long as the mind is in that state, it is rather extremely difficult to cherish any love towards the Divine Lord. When the mind runs after the world and loves things of the world, it becomes attached to them, then it becomes impossible for us to get back to our true self. So when the mind runs after the things of the world, it leads to tremendous reactions. It doesn't simply keep quiet. It makes us more and more worldly. It makes us hanker after things of the world more and more. And we become restless because most of our intentions, desires in the world are unfulfilled. So, Sri Ramakrishna has said a significant statement. It is true that the world is being carried on by two wheels. One wheel is lust, another wheel is money. So, we are going along in this world always flanked by lust and money. It is not that we should not earn money. That is not the idea here. The idea here is that we should see the mind doesn't stuck up there, which is rather very difficult for us to follow. So in this context, Sri Ramakrishna has said, it is not good to have too much of money, too much of wealth. Why? Because it drowns the man in the worldliness. As long as the mind is soaked in the worldliness, you will never be able to have any glimpse of peace or joy pertaining to spiritual ideas. So life is full of tests. We are all undergoing number of tests in the life. We are required to pass in the test to go further. God tests a man in his own way. It is not like the human test. Human test is rather easy, but divine test is difficult. What does it do? Sri Ramakrishna says, he tests a man by making him a rich man. Once a person becomes rich, how he behaves becomes egocentric, erratic, arrogant, full of pride, boasting, full of temper, full of lust, all these things. He becomes the personification of these things. And naturally, whatever the money he has stored up over and above what is required, that he uses for worldly things. He develops bad habits, all sorts of things. But if the person, whatever the money he has acquired, after it is being used up for some of his needs, if he uses the money for charitable activities, servicing the people in needs, then he has passed God's test. It means sacrifice on the part of the person who has possessed enormous wealth. By using his money in charitable activities, serving the poor, helping the sick people, engaging in all types of welfare activities without seeking any reward in turn, God becomes immensely pleased. The result is his heart will be thoroughly purified. So, when the heart is purified, it is easy to direct the mind towards the divine, supreme, and he becomes well qualified to enjoy remarkable peace. And he will be able to experience the truth, the mystery of the life. God's ways are very mysterious. He may provide plenty of riches to one person, but such a man is so deluded by Maya, he will never in his life desire to be charitable. Uses the whole thing for his own selfish ends. Again, God may give a generous heart to another, but not give him much money. So, Sri Ramakrishna says, blessed indeed are they who are rich and yet feel for the poor. So, there are bad effects of wealth. Through wealth and honor, our egotism is bloated up. And there is no greater obstacle in the spiritual path than egotism. That one is very strong. It destroys all our spiritual power. It never allows us to rise above the level of Maya. So, Sri Ramakrishna is pointing out that wealth and lust are so much connected that one follows in the wake of the other. There are some people who say, oh Swamiji, it may be true that the wealth and lust are the main obstacles in the spiritual path, but it's very difficult to get rid of them. They honestly express that weakness, but then it only shows it requires stern discipline, strong determination and willpower, and it only points out that such people need more time to turn to God. Anyway, it is not an easy turn. It is a painful turn. It is as if transplanting yourself from the world to the spiritual realm. Second point, Sri Ramakrishna has said how nice it is that we should all try to sing. Singing is a very easy medium to please God. If we are sincere, through singing we easily get absorbed, and if we sing with yearning heart, we are sure to get the vision of God. As long as we desire the things of the world, it is not possible for us to have any earnest desire to know God. It doesn't arise at all. A few days back I had been to Omaha, Nebraska. A very good group was there. I had satsang with them. One of the parents was telling that he has got a child. Now he is aged 18 or 19 years. Previously, when he was little child, he used to offer little prayers and do some repetition of God and some kind of spiritual activities he was doing. But now the same boy is telling he doesn't believe that there is God. So the father is frustrated. What is this happening? We are not like that. Our parents were not like that. Our grandparents were not like that. But now we are seeing our kids are behaving in a very different way. That parent was a very nice devotee, earns a lot of money, a good doctor. Here in America, doctors are very rich. Palatial building, like a palace. Everything he has got. Just he has only 2 sons. But he has everything but one thing. That is, he has no peace of mind. This is worrying him. My son is like this. What can be done? Who can help? He is really worried over it. What's the use of his working whole day and night and getting several $1,000s? What's use? Anyway, no one is responsible for the other in one way. Because everyone has to struggle oneself or herself. Struggling should be there, and world is a place for struggling. We struggle till we reach our goal. Even not knowing you may be struggling. Without knowing you are struggling. Knowingly, if you struggle, you enjoy the better result. In a struggle, we are all struggling in one way or other. So, of course, why the child suddenly got into this kind of thinking? There may be many reasons. Surroundings and associations, all these things are responsible for the formation of the ideas in this child. Whatever it is, as long as we desire the things of the world, tomorrow there is a football game, 75,000 people come. There's a beautiful stadium in Nebraska. 75,000 people can sit there in that stadium. And the people were telling, in a few days or so, next week probably, there will be a football match. The whole place will be full of people. So, whatever may be the factor, the desire, I should go and see that match. He will certainly go, even though there may be several thousand people, he would like to go and participate. That means the mind is engaging in the external things. We are all children, though we are grown up physically, but we are yet children from the spiritual point of view. If the child is absorbed in his toys, naturally he is joyful in playing with the toys. He forgets his mother for the time being. But how long does he play? He gets tired after some time. Then he cries for the mother. Crying. Painful crying, because mother doesn't come immediately. He wants immediately the mother should come. He is not happy till he sees her. Similarly, when a man tires of the playthings of the world, when he comes to definite conclusion that all these things are trash, they just ruin my life, no more of these things. Once this idea deepens in his heart, then his heart yearns for God. Then he tries to struggle with all his force, with all his mind, to find out the truth, whatever it is. Nobody wants misery, is it not? Anybody, starting from the lowest worm to the highest creature, highest being in this world, nobody wants misery. Yet, the deluded man ignores God, the source of all happiness, and runs after the worthless toys of life. So, it depends upon what we want. Do we really need peace or simply talking? Do we really have that hankering to have the vision of God, or simply a show? If it is real, then mercilessly throw away all these toys. Don't argue about them anymore. Don't try to convince yourself about the things going on in the world. Don't try to find accommodation in that environment. That means you must develop tremendous renunciation in your heart. I don't want anything. I want only God. I want to see Him. I want to talk to Him. I want to experience the highest truth. So, when you throw away the toys and really cry for God, that crying is called yearning for God. That's called yearning. When you have that yearning, God will run to you and take you in His arms. Sri Ramakrishna says, the divine form, He hears every prayer what we do. He sees our heart. He finds out whether we are really yearning for Him. The next point Sri Ramakrishna tells, it requires tremendous energy to fight back all these worldly tendencies. Spiritual emotions are to be intensified, but these should be kept within. If we give vent to them, they will exhaust themselves, then dryness may follow. So, one who is of true devotion, he yearns for God without becoming impatient. That's very important. Even if he sees no light, he will not give up his devotions. Only those who love God, like shopkeepers looking for profit, will give up if their prayers are not answered immediately. Oh, I have meditated for 12 years, I didn't get anything. What's the use? There is no God. No impatience will give you result. So as Sri Ramakrishna has pointed out in the beginning, one is able to have the vision of God as soon as one gets rid of ego and transcends all limitations. One cannot assimilate spiritual instructions without the power of discrimination. We should have intellectual sharpness to figure out real and unreal. We should have courage and boldness to reject, to throw away that is unreal. At least that should be our ideal. I should know I am walking in the forest, thorns are there, wild animals are there, snakes are there, tigers are there, so many things are there. I am fully aware of them. and then I am walking. That awareness is very important. One can generate that awareness only through sharp intellect. Then only the spiritual instructions of the spiritual masters work well. And another important point which Sri Ramakrishna has said, in order to keep the mind under healthy level, Sri Ramakrishna suggests fasting every fortnight, 11th day of every month. Fasting is very good. It purifies the mind and helps one to develop love of God. Of course, fasting here, Sri Ramakrishna suggests those who cannot fast completely may take little milk and puffed rice. Keep light, that's the point. But there are people who fast every Saturday, every Monday, every Thursday. Simply fasting will not purify your mind unless you engage your mind in spiritual thoughts. I have seen people, sometimes during Shivaratri days I have seen in India, people are fasting no doubt, but they are playing cards. They are fasting no doubt, but they are visiting theatres. Sit and see the dirty things in the film. What's the use of that fasting? It's useless. All our spiritual practices are done this way. That is why we are as we were before. We are now as we were before. Not an inch we have improved because we have not paid attention to the spiritual practices properly. Just like a leaky jar. No doubt the water is pouring down into the jar continuously, but the jar is not filled up at all because there is a small leak. What is going away through the leak? It is just like that. We are deceiving ourselves, not external, our own self. I am deceiving myself. That's the point. That only shows I am not looking within properly. I am not looking within properly. That's very important point. We don't do practices properly. We don't struggle properly. But we want the result. It can never come. It won't come. So, it's very important. In fact, one of the devotees came to Holy Mother and said, Mother, you have initiated me. I have taken mantra from you. I have been doing the japa, repeating the mantra. Still I am not able to get anything. Then Mother asked him, how many times you are remembering God? How much time you are devoting for remembering God? Out of 24 hours. Then he told, he was just repeating 108 times. Mother said, do you really want to see God? Do you really want to have the vision of God? Then repeat 15,000 times every day for 6 months and then come to me. And ask the same question if you have got. 15,000 times every day you must repeat. Why Mother said like that? Because mind has been made restless, simply sitting and getting up doesn't mean that you are practicing spirituality. Mind should be saturated with the spiritual thoughts. Mind should hanker after to be on the high level. It should never go back. Whenever any unpleasant thought comes, immediately the mind should react. No, I don't want this dirty thought. Or it should be indifferent to that. Now what happens? Mind is always on the low level. It has lost its vigor, it has lost its power, it has lost everything. It cannot rise up. Nobody can lift it because it is loaded with all types of samskaras. It has become heavy. It has become too heavy. It cannot be handled at all. So, not that kind of fasting. Before fasting, determine in your mind, tomorrow I am fasting. What is my time schedule from morning to night? What should I do? Should I go and visit my friends? No. This day is meant for practices. I will engage myself in spiritual devotional practices. That's the way. So with that intensity, if we yearn for God, then God is sure to come. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna. That concludes chapter 17. Today I shall start chapter 18. Sri Ramakrishna, accompanied by Manilal Malik, M. and several other devotees, was in a carriage on his way to Ram's new garden. The garden which Ram had recently purchased was next to Surendra's. Ram adored the Master as an incarnation of God. He visited Sri Ramakrishna frequently at Dakshineshwar. Manilal Malik was a member of the Brahmo Samaj. The Brahmos do not believe in divine incarnations. Master said to Manilal, in order to meditate on God, one should try at first to think of Him as free from upadhis, limitations. God is beyond upadhis. He is beyond speech and mind. But it is very difficult to achieve perfection in this form of meditation. But it is easy to meditate on an incarnation, God born as man. Yes, God in man. The body is a mere covering. It is like a lantern with a light burning inside, or like a glass case in which one sees precious things. Arriving at the garden, the Master got out of the carriage and accompanied Ram and the other devotees to the sacred Tulsi grove. Standing near it, he said, "How nice! It is a fine place. You can easily meditate on God here." Sri Ramakrishna sat down in the house, which stood to the south of the lake. Ram offered him a plate of fruit and sweets, which he enjoyed with the devotees. After a short time, he went around the garden. Next, Sri Ramakrishna proceeded towards Surendra's garden. He walked on foot a little distance and saw a sadhu sitting on a couch under a tree. At once he went up to the holy man and joyfully began a conversation with him. Master asked, "To which order of monks do you belong? Have you any title, Giri, Puri or the like?" Sadhu replied, "People call me a Paramahamsa." Master said, "That's good. I am Shiva." That's a good attitude. But I must tell you something else. The process of creation, preservation and destruction that is going on day and night is due to Shakti, the power of God. This primal power and Brahman are one and the same. Shakti cannot exist without Brahman, just as waves cannot exist without water. There can't be any instrumental music without an instrument. As long as one is aware of knowledge, one is also aware of ignorance. But there is another state in which God reveals to his devotee that Brahman is beyond both knowledge and ignorance. It can't be described in words. What exists, exists. After a pleasant conversation with the sadhu, the master returned to the carriage, the holy man walking with him. Sri Ramakrishna looked upon him as a friend of long acquaintance, and they walked arm in arm. The master arrived at Surendra's garden. The very first thing he talked about was the sadhu. Master said, "He is a very nice man." To Ram, Sri Ramakrishna said, "Bring him to Dakshineshwar when you come. He is really a good man." There is a line in a song to the effect that a man cannot recognize a holy person unless he is holy himself. The sadhu believes in God without form. That's good. God is both formless and endowed with form. He is many things more. The absolute and the relative belong to one and the same reality. What is beyond speech and mind is born in the flesh, assuming various forms and engaging in various activities. From that one Om have sprung Om Shiva, Om Kali, Om Krishna. Suppose the master of a house has sent out a small boy of the family to invite people to a feast. All look on the boy with great fondness and affection because he is the son or grandson of a prominent man. The master took refreshments at Surendra's garden house and then set out for Dakshineshwar with the devotees. She'll stop here. Any questions, comments? No, this point has been dealt with many times. As I said earlier, it is not that we should not earn money. Definitely we should earn money as much as that is required. Suppose you have more money and you have become rich. Sri Ramakrishna says all people cannot become rich. Some people do become rich. God gives tests to the people, making him a rich man. What does he do? Does he care for me or does he care for the other things? So that is a real test and severe test, crucial test too. What happens generally when there is more than what is required? There is a tendency to abuse it than use it properly. What Sri Ramakrishna is telling that if you have more money, then use them in charitable activities, in serving the poor and things like that. Wholeheartedly, you try to part with your money. It is sacrifice, no doubt. But by engaging yourself in such selfless activities, not in order to get name, power, position, a title from the people. You are just doing it out of love for the humanity. With that attitude, if you are able to use the money, then your heart becomes purified. And Sri Ramakrishna says you have passed the test. What here means is that renunciation is a very difficult term for people in the world to understand. Renunciation is nothing but giving your whole mind to God. If you are able to do that, living in the home, doing all your activities, perfectly all right. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. Even the householders also do practice renunciation. It is internal renunciation. Mentally they are detached. But how that internal renunciation is cultivated unless you develop love of God. So cultivation of love of God is very important. That you have to adopt in some way or other. You have to find out the method by which you are able to come towards God. That's the point what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. So, people become rich. Generally, what we see, they become egoistic, arrogant, proud, full of vanity, brutal, all sorts of things. But not all rich people are like that. There are very good rich people also. They are gold-like. True. Because Sri Ramakrishna is referring to this section of society when he was talking about Jadu Malik, who was a rich man, who was surrounded by flatterers all the time. So, the point is, being in the world, how much your mind is in God, how much your mind is in the world. That's the point. Anything else? Both same. Singing, those who have that faculty to sing, those who cannot sing, they can chant. The idea is, it is easy to get yourself absorbed. Singing, it also includes hearing. Suppose you may not be able to sing yourself, but you love to hear the good songs, some cassettes playing, and you enjoy it. You don't know how you have traveled 100 miles. It was just like 5 minutes because your whole mind was on the singing. So, that way, it is easy to get absorbed. Easy medium, easy method. That's what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Do you have any question? So what is your... Yeah. Now, why I am asking is after this long introduction. Now here the point is this. Why this projection is going on, that cannot be answered. Only answer is, Sri Ramakrishna has given, is that it is explained, it's all divine play. In one sentence he has explained, all this creation, preservation, destruction as nothing but a game. It's a divine sport. We have all come here, we are playing games. That's all. So, the truth is, because mind is a part of the cosmic mind and we are part of the cosmic being, we should realize that we are part of the cosmic being, we are part of the, our mind is part of the cosmic mind. So, that is, theoretically I have understood that, but practically I should experience that. So to experience that, they give various types of spiritual disciplines to be followed. And by following those disciplines, what happens is that you are able to reduce that projection. You are aware of the projection, and slowly, because you are intent on knowing what it is, so that intention will open the gates. If the intentions are properly organized, and if you are pursuing it with all vigor, in course of time, it opens the gate and you will be able to realize what you had understood theoretically. So, that is, hitherto I have understood myself as a being, as Michael Ibrahim, as Swami Chidananda, as Earl, as Setu Ram, like that. That means each name is considered as a wave, a wave. So, hitherto I had considered myself as a wave. Because of my continued concentration and meditation on the spiritual idea that I am that Supreme Brahman, by constantly focusing the mind on that idea, time will come when we realize we are no more a wave. We are that water itself. Wave, it appears as wave, but the substance is water itself. It is in the form of wave, it is in the form of ice blocks, it may be in different forms, but the substratum, the substance is same, essence is same. So that realization, that particular entity experiences that. Once that experience comes, he gets samadhi. So, to pursue that idea, anything that you pursue that idea, unless you have love towards that idea, unless you love that, you can't pursue it. So that is the meaning of loving God. That's what I think like that. But those who cannot take up this formless aspect, they can take any divine forms, and naturally you can establish all your human relationships with God. So all this terminology has come. Actually, it is a Shabdatita. It is beyond the sound, it is beyond time-space causation in the final analysis. But because we are in the relative plane, so everything that is going on in front of us, so we have to go through this way only. So that's how I think. That's true. That's true. If a man really feels that way, if he really thinks that way, he ceases to act in the way people act. His activities are different. You see, suppose you are in sleep, you are not doing any activity. In the same way, when you are in meditation, the intense meditation means the mind is focused on the truth and it is satisfied in the truth. It is there, finished. That is true. How many activities have gone through this world. How many times the creation has come, creation has gone. Who can tell this creation, preservation, destruction, since how long it is there? They are talking about the evolution theory. That means before this evolution theory there was no creation. But that's why Swami Vivekananda has dealt with this subject very nicely. You must read it, that's all. There's a Jnana Yoga book, separate book is available, you can take from library. The special chapter is there, involution, evolution. Excellent topic. Involution, evolution. Even while reading you feel joy. Let alone, even reading gives you a kind of peace. That is true. Everything is meaningless in one point, from one point. What is the use of every day getting up morning, going, eating, drinking? Yeah, what did you do? What? Tatakim? What next? You went to morning, you went to this shopping, you went to grocery, yes. What next? What did you achieve? Nothing. So if you are not able to raise your mind, if you are not able to divert your mind towards your own self, but all the activities you are carrying on, simply trash. On the other hand, they will have negative effect. Because you are not focusing your attention on your inner self, all these external activities which you are engaged in bind you more and more, entangle you more and more. You become associated with them, you are not able to get out of them, you are in terrible mess. That's the thing. No. I see in a different way. That is this. First of all, there are 1,000 ways of approaching God. We should not take hundreds of ways into our thinking and try to reconcile them. No, that's not the way. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says very clearly, fix up the path first. Don't tell sometime bhakti, sometime Raj Yoga, sometime Jnana Yoga. Don't talk. We shall not talk that way. According to your temperament. Fix the path. Suppose you want Jnana, only follow whatever that is said from the standpoint of Jnana. Don't take up the other things, what the other people have said about bhakti, what about love, what about guru, what about shishya. All those things do not come. All these things come in a different approach. When you have bhakti, when you have got the relationship with guru and guru-disciple relationship, when it comes that way. Actually, in many cases, you can't expect guru to be always with you. Sri Ramakrishna himself tells, in course of time, when you are doing steady practices, your mind itself becomes your guru. So, in gurus also, there are different stages. One is the guru who has just given you the mantra and blessed you with his blessings so that you can carry on the practices. Once you take that mantra without questioning, as Holy Mother said, repeat 15,000 times, then the truth will reveal itself. Don't keep on questioning all the time. Stop questioning. Stop reasoning. Just dive deep into practice. Then the experience will give you the answer. That will clear off all the doubts. That's all what all the spiritual masters have said. And even the guru whom we have seen giving us mantra, etc., you will see that there is no difference between that guru and Satchidananda Guru, the Paramatma, Parabrahman, the substratum of the whole universe. And as Sri Ramakrishna said, mind itself is guru, then that mind merges into Satchidananda Guru. You realize yourself, that supreme aspect of God. When Ganga joins the ocean, it has become an ocean. It is no more Ganga there. How can you demarcate there? Which is Ganga in the ocean? No, finished. Ocean. Ganga itself feels, I am ocean. I am that. I am all pervading. In fact, there is a Devi Sukta in Rigveda. It's a very fine Sukta, very famous also. Ambarani Sukta, Vagambarani Sukta it's called. She is a lady who practiced meditation and who got that realization. After getting realization, she said, I am that Brahman. In the Devi Sukta, she tells, I am the Brahman. I am this, I am that, I am all pervading, etc. So that concept, that means your concept is broadened. You envelop the whole universe. The veil of ignorance is completely removed. When you realize thou art that, that is the experience of supreme peace and supreme joy. That's all. So we have to fix up a path. Once you see, Sri Ramakrishna himself said, somebody was reading Ashtavakra Gita. It's a very famous book. Ashtavakra is not an ordinary sage. He was an extraordinary sage of realization, Maharshi. Just like Bhagavad Gita, there is Ashtavakra Gita. It is supremely non-dualistic verses. They are all explained nicely. Somebody was reading, Sri Ramakrishna scolds him, don't read that book, it is not meant for you. Your path is bhakti. Don't get irritated by reading that and don't get confused. You are not to, why do you read and then why do you want to get treatment for that? Why do you affect your mind and then why do you want to get treatment? Don't allow that to happen. You are not supposed to read that. So that is the purpose of Guru. Guru tells you clearly what exactly you should do. So in the initial stage, in the preparatory stage, we should just follow the instructions of the Guru. Just keep on doing the things, then you will realize. There is no doubt about it. Whatever path you may follow. If you say, I am Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, keep on repeating that, one day you will find you are that. So, before realizing that, you may not have understood the meaning of that. That's true. But even though you don't know the meaning of the mantra, when you realize it, you will know the true meaning. It is just like telling, fire is there. Oh, I don't know that fire burns. Even if you don't know, if you touch the fire, it burns you. Because you don't know, do you mean to say that fire should not burn you? In the same way, truth is there. Focus it. By the power of that focus, you will realize. That's how I analyze things. We should organize our mind like that. We should not allow any conflicts to come up. That means you should try to see how the conflicts are resolved. Then it becomes easy to go through in our spiritual practices. We shall conclude. It's already 9 o'clock. Chant the name of the Lord, hand His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy. How huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. as many times as I may be reborn. Grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man is in this world's fearful ocean. He is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence. Though it tears my soul asunder, O Thou who stealest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.